What's going on, Pokemon TCG players? It's me, Dr. Chosen, back with another Klawf video, as usual, and I'm going to talk about the deck list I'm currently on. I'm going to talk about its performance recently, all about matchups. This is basically your ultimate guide for Klawf if you're thinking about playing it before rotation, and even I'll talk about it a little bit post-rotation, since I think this deck will exist, because Klawf and both Brute Bonnet are both cards that stick around post-rotation. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. I hit Ultra League this season, just playing Klawf. My win rate is right there. I will also link a Google spreadsheet in the description with all my matchups. I have like 200 different games tracked. I do it all manually. Every single time I play a game, I take a few notes on the game, whether I won or lost, went first or second, because there's not a lot of good data I can pull from. Back when I played Hearthstone, we had Deck Tracker, we had a lot of these different third-party applications that we could use in order to get data and pull it from to add to spreadsheets and overall make a better decision on what the meta would be like for upcoming tournaments. I hit Ultra League with a 61.5% win rate, which I think is pretty good. I think it's a really strong win rate. I think I started at like 400 this season, and obviously Ultra League is not like super insanely impressive, but again, I've only been playing the Pokemon TCG since August, and I've only been playing Klawf since November. So I played 200 games this season. You can see it's 109 plus 160, so like 177 games. Pretty good. I'm going to show you guys the deck list that I was able to do it with. That is right here on the screen. Again, I'm someone who changes a lot depending on the meta. If I see a tournament deck that does well, I'll maybe pull a few cards from it, see how I feel about it. But one thing I have not changed, and I don't think I'm going to change my opinion on, is I do not like B-Barrel. Or if you're going to play B-Barrel, it should be a 1-1. And I'll talk a little bit more about that again. If you've seen my other videos, I went into depth on why I don't like B-Barrel in this type of deck. I think just having all basic Pokemon in a aggressive deck is already just amazing. It lets you be a lot more consistent. But let me go ahead. I'm going to go over the spreadsheet now with win rates, so you guys can, if you want to pull it up on your own, it'll be in the description like I said. I'm going to go over it right now, actually. I'm going to go into the tier list for the matchups for Electrode, and so you guys can really get a better understanding of what you are targeting and what you want to avoid if you expect it to be heavy or prevalent in the meta. And so I'm just going to go straight down the list in no particular order besides how I was queuing into them on ladder. We're going to start off with what I think is one of the stronger decks in the format currently, Mew VMAX, which is actually statistically our worst matchup. Now, if you are playing something like Spiritomb and Drapion, the matchup can obviously be swung into our favor, or at least a lot closer. But the reason this matchup is so horrendous is because if they're playing the fusion energy, we can't poison them, so we can never set up a knockout on any of the Pokemon pretty much. Their draw engine is so consistent, so they can judge us and Iono us, which makes us struggle. And we can't one-shot Mew VMAX, and they can Psychic Leap back into the deck. There's just so many things they can do. Like Klawf can't knock out a Genesect, or Klawf can knock out Genesect, but not has a Fusion Strike. Electrode can't knock out Genesect, but can knock out a Mew V, but Klawf can't knock out a Mew V. So all these different factors add up really quickly to where even if you're playing a Spiritomb and they can't, like, they play slow, like, it's still close. It's still a close matchup when you're shutting down their draw engine, which I don't like. So if you are expecting a lot of Mew, which there honestly hasn't been at Portland, there wasn't too much Mew. There was a lot more in day 2 than day 1. And obviously you can scam the matchup if they have a really bad start. That is one of the pros of this deck, like I've always said, is you being able to scam bad matchups. But if that is something you are expecting, I would maybe reconsider, or maybe just play a Drapion. Play a Drapion Spiritomb. Spiritomb does hit a lot of other things right now, so it's not the worst possible inclusion. Okay, and the win rate versus Mew is obviously it's like 25% or less. I'm 2-11, so it's like roughly like a 15% win rate. Not great. And now I have not been playing 2 more Drapion in most of those games, but I just still, obviously if you're playing those, it'll be better. Second on the list is Miraidon. Miraidon is arguably a free matchup just because, like, obviously Klawf its weakness into everything. I don't need to talk about this too much. I've talked about it in all my other videos on how you one-shot everything in Miraidon. And if they stick something like a Mew or a Squawkabilly or something that's not weak to Klawf in the active, that's when you just send up the Trode and knock it out anyways. So I'm not going to really talk in depth about the Miraidon matchup. It's super straightforward, really easy to play. Just make sure you're getting a Klawf setup and having a Klawf or a Trode always on the bench as well, so they can't set up some plays where they knock out your only attacker and then they judge you, and then you can't really keep, get another attacker on them. Next on the list, we have Urshifu Iron Valiant. We are actually positive in this matchup. However, I think that is definitely due to the skill level of players online and maybe people not focusing entirely online when they're playing these decks. I'm still going to put it in the bad matchup because I feel like even though we are 8-6, the games we're winning, we kind of are drawing super well, and they're whiffing. It's definitely better if you're playing Collapsed Stadium and Bravery Charms, because then they can't take a knockout on the Squawkabilly easily. But Urshifu is definitely a matchup you can overcome and you can pilot better, especially if you're playing the TMD evolution, which I was not playing in a majority of the games I was playing this season. So it's a bad matchup, but it's definitely not unwinnable. I would not say, and I have kind of combined Urshifu Iron Valiant Entei into like one, because I wasn't queuing into too much of it, and I didn't want to just like make an Iron Valiant that only had like 2 games, and then Urshifu, which had all the other games. So I kind of just combined it into one, because they definitely feel like the same matchup in general as well. Next up, our best matchup, actual best matchup in the game, Roaring Moon. I'm gonna put it actually in front of Ryan. Roaring Moon, we are 20-2. 20 wins. I've lost twice. One was a brick hand, and the other was I actually got outplayed. We went first, they went second, and they were able to go 2-2-2 by Thorntoning and Iron Hands with the new Azul list. I could have played around it. Didn't know, wasn't really expecting the Thornton at the time. Props to that player. They played really well. But the other 20 players, sorry, you're not getting past. We are too consistent at setting up, and our setup is so much easier than Roaring Moon's, to where like all we have to do is have a Sneasler, a Brute with a Capsule, and a Trode, and we one-shot the Roaring Moons. If they have Capsule, then we just need a Curry on top of it. But again, it's so free as a matchup. We've just been like, I've been farming the deck so much. Even when I go first, like you can look at this sheet, half the games I'm going first, obviously, and I'm still like farming the deck. So if a lot of people are expecting Miraidon Moon to be prevalent at the next at Charlotte. If that's the case, Klawf is the pocket insane pick in my opinion, because you're like 80% plus against both those matchups. So I'm going to put Lost Box at 50-50. Because I think we're maybe slightly unfavored. It depends. If they're playing Greninja, we're favored. If they're playing Radiant Zard, the matchup becomes a lot tougher. Because a Zard can trade 2 for 1 into a Trode, right? 2 prizes for 1 into a Trode, and then they can do it again into a Squawk or whatever. And it's really hard for us to get all 4 Klawf set up to just like attack with only Klawf during the game. Bravery Charm definitely helps the Lost Box matchup. So I've Lost Box stats set up in 3 different places. I've Lost Pile, which is the hands Roaring Moon list that you saw that Tor was playing. I have Turbo Lost Box, which is no EXs, it's just like Radiant Zard, 2 Sableye, 2 Cram, 4 like Comfey, no Tina, right? I think that's our worst matchup. I think Lost Pile and Tina we're actually slightly favored against. I think the Turbo deck we are slightly unfavored, but it's very close. And if they don't get set up quickly early on, we can just keep knocking out Comfeys and then they fall behind. So I'm putting it in 50-50 because I do have Tina separately on the list. But a lot of people say the matchup is like horrible for Klawf, and I just straight up disagree. All the data I've tracked online, obviously not the best Lost Box players online, right? Not gonna make any denial there, but even in person at my locals that I've been doing really well at, I'm winning against like people who have competed at Worlds. I'm winning against people that play the deck a lot. So again, I'm putting it at 50-50 because I think it is a really close matchup, and there are a lot of intricacies that you need to learn and practice against from both sides, obviously. But it is definitely not bad. So if you're worried about a lot of Lost Zone as a reason to not play this deck, don't be. It's a fine matchup. easy to win. Okay, you gotta play very well, and you gotta make sure you're setting up your turns quickly, or not quickly, but consistently. Not unwinnable. Okay. Next up is probably the most controversial. A lot of people think this matchup. I'm gonna put this at 50-50. Zard. Zard is very, very tricky to play against. If you're playing de-evolution, it goes up to here. You get like an extra 5-10%, you become extremely favored. I'm 17-10, and I would say only 1 or 2 of those games I was playing de-evolution. However, that being said, obviously I do think it is closer, and I do think my opponents online are not playing optimally with Zard. Which is why I want to keep it in the 50-50. I do think it's better than Lost Box, but I don't think it's like we queue into it and we're like, oh, this is a free matchup, or oh, this is a really good matchup. I think it's like very close. If they get Pidgeot set up, it becomes trickier. I actually am in favor of knocking out Pidgeys early. There are just so many things. I went over the matchup very in depth in my what was it? There was a best deck to beat Snorlax video where I talk about all these matchups super in depth. You should go check that out if you want to learn all the matchups I'm talking about here more specifically. Right now, I'm not trying to get too wordy into all the matchups and how to play that. I'm just going over the stats specifically. But I think Zard is 50-50, very close. And I think Zard will be popular. Zard is an easy deck. It's very consistent. It's fine. It has fine matchups against everything. But it's not one I'd worry about. It's not one I feel like I'm super strong against. Next up, we're going to go Gardevoir. Horrible matchup. Actually, Gardevoir is surprisingly better matchup than Mew. Mew, I've just not been able to win that matchup. Obviously my opponents are getting good starts, but if your Mew opponent gets set up, it's over. Whereas Gardevoir, if they don't draw VIP Pass, they actually tend to struggle in the matchup a little bit, because if they get 2 rolls down, you're obviously taking 1 out. Then the second rolls, they have to draw Artisan, they have to keep level balls up. If they get a Mirage Step off, they're generally going to win the game. If they don't get the turn 2 Mirage Step and they didn't VIP, it's like almost impossible for Gardevoir to win. But they're able to do that a decent amount of the time to where it is just a horrible matchup. It's 5-13, so like 30. I don't know I haven't done the percentage for each matchup, but I think it's like 30% for Klawf. I played against the Mirror once and I lost. I passed my first 3 turns. Not really much to say there. Just Klawf going in the 50-50 category, obviously. Tina. I think Tina's a good matchup for us. Why? At first, I thought it was bad. I kept getting Roxanne, and then I would just whiff. They'd like catch her a Brute, Roxanne me. But you can just play around Roxanne. You could just never go down to 3 prizes. What you can do is like they can have 2 Tinas on the bench. You boss punch into one, and you boss punch into the other. Now both those Tinas are in 1-shot range. You're still at 4 prizes. They can't Roxanne you. And then if they ever send one up to attack, because of the way this deck is built, you're just gonna be able to respond to it with Brute or with Curry or whatever. When you play the matchup like that, it becomes a lot better for us. So that's why I'm saying Tina is favored. I would do a money match on Tina. I think Tina's strong. I don't think it's amazing. I think it's definitely slightly overhyped. And it definitely beats itself, whereas our deck does not beat itself very frequently. Like, we take a lot to get online, but we do it consistently because of how the deck is built. So we are 9-7 against Tina, and I will say a lot of those Tina matches, like, you can just read my notes on them. We are bricking in the games that we're losing, and it's still close. Next up, bad matchup, but not unlosable, is going to be Golden Go. I'm actually 5-3 against Golden Go, which is kind of crazy. If they don't hit VIP and we're able to take a knockout early on their only Golden or Gimme Ghoul or Pokégear, we generally just snowball the matchup. It's just hard because we can't one-shot the Golden Go, and if they decide to ever take out our Sneasler, it becomes a problem because now we can't like leave it in the active and let it take the death with poison. But it is tough because it resists the Golden Go, resists the Trode grass, obviously. And then Klawf can't really one-shot. That is a bad matchup, just slightly. I wouldn't say it's insanely bad. I thought it was much worse than it actually was after playing it a lot. Shin PAL, Baxcalibur, we're 3-2 against. It's kind of like riding the cusp of a good matchup and even flip. If they draw the nuts, I would say it's even or slightly unfavored, but if they draw their average hand, we're farming them because Trode is so much easier to do 230 on Shin PAL versus Shin PAL having have the Baxcalibur, have the B-Barrel, have the VIP, have the Chimp, have everything on top of it, to where I feel like I'm consistently doing well against it. Another free matchup, Snorlax Stall. Not gonna talk about how we beat it. You just poison. You don't ever draw cards. You have 2 Iono, 2 Judge. You just stall the game through poison the whole time, and then you have like 5 switch cards. So eventually you can like, even if they discard 2 or 3 of them, you're still going to be able to like Bossa Rotom, switch, knock out 2 prizes, knock out 2 prizes, knock out, or not, well, 1 prize, 1 prize, and then you only need to tick death 2 or 3 Pokemon, which is very easy to do with Sneasler. Again, I talk about all these matches way more in depth in the other videos, so go check that out. Arceus is going to be a good matchup because we one-shot Arceus, we one-shot Arceus V. The Gradient list is fine, the Regidrago list is fine. Anything that's playing Arceus, we kind of farm. Palkia, bad. Anything that's playing Palkia as its main attacker, like Palkia V-Star, same as Golden Go, it's going to be bad because we can't really knock out the Palkia. And the Palkia is like very easy to set up, and it does one-shot everything in the deck. It trades into Trode efficiently. Don't like playing instead. And then this I would put, honestly, Iron Valiant to Entei. I'd put here. Like my stats, like as I said before, were 9-6 against it, or 8-6, sorry. But the games don't feel unwinnable. They feel like fine to play. So we're 8-6. I'm gonna put it there right along the Urshifu because I feel like it's the same. But looking at this, if you're expecting a low amount of Mew, in Gardevoir, or like let's say like there's only 15% of the field are those decks, and your matchups against everything else are like 80, 80, 70, like 65. For example, James Mauser, who is the guy who got 89th playing the B-Barrel list at Portland. I don't like his list too much. But that's just because I don't like B-Barrel. I think B-Barrel is way overhyped, but you don't need to play it in this list. But like he got 89th in a field that day 2 had a bunch of Gardevoir and Mew V, and he still got 89th, right? That's because you farm everything else. You farm every other deck. So that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about, the stats. This is my final tier list for the matchups for Trode. So if you're expecting Miraidon, Lax, Moon, Tina, then it's kind of a no-brainer what you're bringing, right? Apologies for waffling a little bit longer than I wanted to on the matchup data, but I just think data is super fascinating. And since we don't have a resource for that, I really want to cement why I have these opinions about these matchups, because I have played like 200, 300 games this season, right? And overall, since November with Klawf, I've played, let me check actually, profile, stats, played 1,400 games. You can look right here. I played 1,400 games, and almost every single one's been with this deck, okay? Now, obviously, I'm not, there are a lot of times where I'll be playing at the gym, or I'll be playing, you know, off time at work, and I'm not fully invested in the games, which definitely will affect the win rate. I'm sure other people are doing the same thing, but for this season, all the data that I've tracked, I've been like only playing when I can really, really pay attention to the games. So I feel like this data is very, at least from my side, I feel like I'm playing the matchup very well. And if there are games where I throw, for example, and I'm aware that I threw, I will make sure I mark it in the notes of the doc so you guys can see. That's pretty much all I have to say about the matchups, deck lists, how I feel going into Charlotte. I feel like it's gonna be a good pick. A little announcement: I will actually be competing in May at the regionals in Los Angeles because I live in California, so it's a very easy travel for me. I can get the work weekend off, and I can drive up, compete, drive down, and I will be playing Klawf Trode that weekend. But I will be also going to the International Championships in New Orleans in June. So if you guys are going to that, be sure to, if you want to talk about the deck, hey, feel free to say hi or whatever. I'd love to chat with other people in the community. But enough waffling. That's all I have really to add for this video. After this point, I'm just going to show you some games I had playing ladder in the Ultra League for the past couple weeks. The rest of the video is just going to be gameplay, me piloting the deck if you want to see some of that for those of you who are new. If you're just here because you just wanted the meta analysis, whether you should play it or not, appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. For the rest of you, a lot of gameplay coming on, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Yeah, so I think with the games I show you guys in this video, the next couple matches, there's gonna be some highlights of, you know, just how consistently you donk people, right, and how aggressive you can just run over some decks. But also, I do want to showcase like losses in close games, because I feel like those are the games where you're able to learn the most and pick up the most. Are the very difficult matchups, you know, like Gardevoir, Lost Box, stuff like that, Golden Go. So that's gonna be one of my goals. Like for this is a good. It sucks though. We started Jirachi. We really don't want to start this card because we're not playing Super Rod, right? And they can just like counter catcher it or boss it early, and then we don't have the protection against the catcher brute Jirachi play later. So it is really unfortunate we start with this. We do have a good start either way, VIP Nest Ball Judge, but yeah, not great. What that Sableye and a counter catcher gone. That's actually really good for us. That's like one of the ways we lose. Probably playing Tina then, right? No Tina down though. That's good for us. Another VIP. Okay, we're cooking. Brute Klawf. Electrode. Sneasler. We'll get the whole squad. The boys. Double turbo to the crab. Now, do I want to squawk here? And then no, let's judge first, actually. Make sure we get the judge off. I think that's more important, to be honest. Switch Cart and the Town Store. Okay. Before I'm going to actually squawk first, and we'll see what we get off this, so we know what we need to pull. Okay. Would have liked to get the Bravery Charm and the Capsule here, but only getting one, it seems. Not the worst. Cool. He's on a 4-card hand, and we are knocking out a Comfey, so not the best position for the Tina player anyways. Flower side. This is really, we have a very flexible hand here, or we can Iono again if we need to. We have Arven to pull switches. I mean, we have the Escape Rope, but get tools in case he bumps the stadium. I'm honestly just worried at this point of getting like Sableye, but it seems like he's already lost on one, so he will only have this second one left, and he will have to counter catcher or boss the Jirachi in order to. If he's doing that, he's not knocking out the Klawf, and then we never have to send up an Electrode and get worried about like Radiant Zard or whatever hitting that. The biggest thing with this deck is just managing your resources, which is why I really like the inclusion of Judge Iono, because a lot of the time, once you're set up past turn 1, you don't really want to be playing like Arven or like Research on these like hands like this, because we're not playing B-Barrel. So Judge really fixes the issue where we're kind of just judging into like the same stuff anyways, because we don't have so many like orbs of everything, or our opponents aren't getting judged into good things. I can pull a boss here. I guess we start with the Sealstone. Give us higher odds, right? Because we're gonna probably pull it anyways. Could have pulled the Bravery Charm, but it seems like Klawf's already going 2 for 1. There's the boss. Okay, could definitely boss in the Comfey here. Anything else we'd like to do here? Don't think that. So we don't even need to poison. We can just punch. This matchup's kind of showing you how the Tina matchup generally goes. Their start wasn't crazy, but I feel like it wasn't like terrible. They got 2 Nest Balls, no VIP, right? But they did have Comfey with Escape Rope Switch. You know, they have 3. They didn't get the Cram Attack off, which is definitely unlucky on their part. Turn 1, no turn 1 Cram Attack, but it's not the worst Tina start, right? We've seen some really, really bad Tina hands. If you just start knocking out the Comfeys against them, they can't really do anything. Like, look at their hand. Like, they're passing here, you know? This happens a lot against this deck. I'm going to Escape Rope here, because I want to punch into the Cram. Going to Town Store. Pull the Bravery Charm to protect the Klawf. And now what does he do, you know? I'm not going to Iono, don't need to. Don't need to play literally anything here. We can just chill. This is like what happens with Tina, you know? I find the Lost Box decks, like I said before, with Radiant Zard to be the biggest issue, because they play Catcher and Zard and they're able to trade pretty efficiently with you. Yeah, game's over. Cool. Nice, nice, clean game right there. I will go first. Okay, a game where we're going first. Do you have the Klawf? Seeing Collapse in the opening hand is probably like the worst card, just because it means we can't collapse away a Squawk ever, right? Unless we judge it and then Squawk. Interesting, he's playing Lost Box and wanted us to go first. I can't judge his turn. Do I even need a Squawk here? Is a thing? Like, I like having the judge, right? That's the problem with squawking. Like, I could go play this, get Squawk, Energy Loto, but then we're leaving a Squawk on the board against Lost Box, which is not great. We're benching a Jirachi early, which we don't want to do, and then we lose our judge. We don't really need to draw super aggressive, I feel like. We even need a Sneasler. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Energy? No energy. That's unfortunate. Just pass. Let's play it slow. Going first is always awkward because we don't have the supporter online. Usually I prioritize getting poison at least, so if we miss the turn to attack, at least the poison takes a KO or does something, but... Interesting he did that first. Escape Rope. I think I'm just going to send up the Crode. Jirachi into the Lost Box, nothing valuable lost for him here. Water Energy, okay. Is he playing Tina as well? I have to wait to find out. Dang, he's got the blinged out deck, that's for sure. Grass, okay, so he's playing Tina, most likely, right? Not always, it couldn't be like the Tropius build. Yeah, it's Tina. Oh, and he has that art, wow. What a game, he's gonna Abyss Seek, I'm assuming? Yeah, so he gets 5 in the Lost Spot, or Lost Zone. It actually sucks. I hate punching into a Tina. I like don't want to take a knockout on Tina early, you know, but... And our judge is like bad here. Because he has a 4-card hand anyway. This is really awkward, actually. Really insane start for the Tina. 5 in the Lost Zone on turn 1. Lost a gate in a Super Rod, though. That's not great. Let's we start with this. Boss. So we can't boss this turn, unfortunately. We can bench Jirachi. I don't really know if it's needed. We can just collapse to bump the path. I'm just thinking, like, what do I need to bump the path for? So I get a knockout? Sure. Judge? He did pick the cards in his hand ultimately, so... Damn, this is really rough. Yeah. Going first, not it. Damn, like, I just hate these, like, one-sided games. I wish, like, he had the nuts and I had, like, something similar to respond with so we could play, like, a back and forth. But now the way this game's gonna go, he's gonna, like, just get so far ahead right here because he already has, like, 5 in Lost Zone. And then, like, the game's just kind of over, you know? Like, he Abyss Seeks again. He's at 7. Mirage Gate's on 9. Like, I'd love to boss up this right here, but, like, I can't. No hit a VIP. I'm just gonna bench this and research, I guess. I could just... Let's actually Escape Rope, see what he does. He might send up a Comfey. Like, you really don't want to be knocking out the Tinas. You want to, like, be punching into the V-Stars or punching into them, you know? Double Turbo. Okay, got it on the 7th. I'm gonna pick the Capsule here. You can hold on to the stone. Okay. Yes, it's not a great, like, we should have 2 prizes here. We only have 1. It's really rough. Because generally, like, what you want to do in this matchup specifically is you want to knock out a Comfey and a Comfey earlier, or a Comfey and a Cram, preferably 2 Comfey. That's like really what we want to focus on. And then afterwards, you don't want to take any prizes because you don't want to go to Roxanne. You just want to like boss hit this Tina, boss hit this Tina. Usually they only set up 2. If they set up 3, it's like insanely hard. Usually they set up 2 and you punch both of them. So that if they send one up, even if they Roxanne you, you have like double Brute online because we're not playing B-Barrel. So then you just set up Klawf hit or set up Electrode hit, take 2 prizes, and then you're able to trade, right? And because you took the prizes early, you don't like actually fall behind. You just like keep tempo and then you win. But it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to do that in this game. Both waters are gone, so there's gonna be no radiant. Not like I was worried about it. You gonna have Mystique? Counter catcher the Brute. Okay, Mystique. Greninja, I'm assuming. Manaphy and a lot of energy in the Lost Zone. If we can like, we don't have Collapse, but as long as we can ever bench like another 2 prizer, we might actually just be okay this game. I have to judge here, which is not great, but I need to Switch Cart and I don't want to use the Steel Stone. Okay, we missed. Let's do this. Take the Bravery. Maybe I should take the second capsule, honestly. That was probably better. Energy Loto. Boom. I'm just gonna do it here. I'm just gonna Switch Cart away. Also Escape Rope. Either Escape Rope or yeah, it's Escape Rope actually. It's probably better. I don't like want to hit into this. I don't care. Yeah, this is fine. We're into the 4 prizes. It's gonna be rough though from here on out. I don't even know if it's winnable. What I'm thinking our win con is, so he's gonna like, he's probably going to, he needs to like leave these, like leave one that's not a V-Star and then shred into like my 1 prizers. Because if not, he's gonna run out of energy, which is, I've seen people throw this matchup because they lost impact twice and then they don't have enough energy. I'm kind of hoping he does that, you know? I hate how the animation on that is bugged. Oh, there's only 1 in the deck? Wow. 4 energies in the prize, lost. 1 in the discard, so he's gonna boss up the Trode here. No, he's gonna boss up the Brute. What's the game plan here? Pass? What an awkward like game. What a weird game from both sides. I don't want to Iono here, so please. Should I pull something off here first? I guess I should, right? Like I want this to get discarded hypothetically. Yeah. I guess we have to take the Arven. We only get 1, right? We could pull 2 technically. Which? It sucks we're going to the Roxanne range. It really is unfortunate. His 1-hit card hand could just be Roxanne and then the game becomes very difficult. Yeah, there's the research we were looking for. He sends this up. He is down a boss, though. He is down 2 counter catchers. No, just 1. Just the 1. I don't know, maybe it is winnable. Maybe we're in an okay spot here. I feel like he has, like, no cards left, you know? Like, how does he continuously, like, take 6 prizes, you know? Like, because as soon as he takes a knockout with Sableye, we get Jirachi down. Like, he shreds, okay. We can now respond. with Curry. If we do this, yeah, like how? What's the? I don't understand. So we play Jirachi here. These are capsules, so I don't need to. Just do this. Okay, we got the Curry. Like we have the knockout here. Let me just double check what's in my deck. So this is down. We have 1 prize. A Switch, double turbo, 3 Nest Balls, and 2 VIP. Not great. We do have 2 supporters. All these Pokemon are kind of dead. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. 3 good cards in our deck. Everything good's in our hand. So at least Roxanne we can draw it back. But I think this is going on to 1. Don't have any escape ropes, but boss at any point is kind of just game. Still burned, which means that now we do die to a shred on the opposite side. But we're definitely being Roxanne here to 2. And it really sucks, so we do have a lot of dead cards. We do have some live cards too. We have both Pokégears are down, unfortunately, but we do have oh wow, this is all he has. Oh, the game's over. Wow, he whiffed. Damn, double Judge by us actually carried this game so hard. Like, he just could never do anything because he could never build up a hand size. Dang. Crazy game. Cool. Pretty good, though. I feel like we played really clean. We had a really, really awkward start. I thought the game was unwinnable, but once I saw it, like, he kept going through his deck without actually developing anything, I realized he was gonna just start bricking. Cool. Sweet game. Okay, Tails. I will always call Tails. Nice. Cool. Second. The only time I think we should ever go first as Klawf is if we were playing Spiritomb and we know for a fact the opponent is Mew. That is the only time I would ever go first. Moon, nice. Our best matchup in the game. Attaching to the active there seems odd. Oh, double vitality gone. Rough. That is kind of rough. Yeah, attaching the active feels weird unless you're like going for like a switch card to stick like this in the active. Otherwise, you'd rather just attach to this one because you can kind of assume this one's getting knocked out, right? Okay. Well, we have it. Start with VIPs for Electrode, Brute. Do this. We have the Curry, so we don't need to get the Sneasler down this turn. We do this. Oops. Capsule. Yeah, he just conceded. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like if we get the knockout turn 1, like, they just fall. It's so much hard. He shouldn't have attached the active, though, there anyways. But this guy is 2800 RC's League. Oh, it's Togekisu. Okay, I've played against this guy a bunch before. Does this guy play Gardevoir? I think he plays Gardevoir. Who is this guy? Pretty weak hand overall. Hope it's a good matchup for us. Palkia, that is a bad matchup for us for sure. Pokestop, well, maybe we get the donk on him. Canceling Cologne, that's it. Oh, he's playing Golden Go. Wow, we can actually win the game here. We are gonna Pokestop here. Start. We hit it like 1 VIP or a Nest Ball. We're good. 2 Nest Ball. Okay, we got it. Nice. Electrode. Escape Rope. We get the Brute. We need the Sneasler. We need the Squawk. We should go for Squawk first. Just in case the research is not... We hit it, like, I'm pretty sure, like, above 95% of the time here. Sealstone. Sealstone. Research. Don't need any other support. There's the VIPs. Boom. Don't need anything else. Boom, boom. We need the Curry now. If we just have, right? Yeah, cool. We got it. Sorry. Yeah, see, I mean, this is like what we do with the bad matchups. We just scam them because our deck is more consistent than your bad deck. Sorry, buddy. That's the reality of it. Golden Go, though. Nice. This is what we do against Golden Go, though. This is how we win. I mean, I know you're like, oh, you don't donk every game. It's like, obviously, but you donk like a okay amount of time, you know. And even if you don't donk, if they only have one thing on the bench, they're still so far behind at that point, you know, to where it's like pretty much the same as donking them. So 6-3, win, donk. Okay, same opponent. Unfortunately, I waited like 10 minutes. It's okay. They'll go first. Fine with me. Jirachi start, not great. We do have to. I mean, our hand's alright. He's playing Golden Go. He is mulliganed. Okay. By the way, let me know. I'm trying this out once. I'm just having a mini version of the deck list in the top right during the games. Let me know if it takes. If you guys think it takes up too much space or whatnot, or if you like having it there so you guys can see it, what I'm playing. I remember Hearthstone, we used to always have the deck list on screen so people could see it, for anyone who's curious. Oh, wow. This guy, again, whiffing. Okay. We're getting Trode Squawk here for sure. Trode. Now, the question is, do we want to knock out the Pokégear or the Gimmighoul? He didn't attach. Wish we had an escape rope here, honestly. Just do this. I could also just attach retreat, but Pokégear. Arven is great. Turn 1 Arven. VIP Sealstone. Road Sneasler. We can now escape rope away. We can take a knockout on the Palkia. Do it on the active, because we're kind of going for a Should I Sealstone? Well, it's like, should I Sealstone for the escape rope now? Because if it's like I have the curry already in hand, so if I do it, I guarantee the knockout on the Palkia right now. Whereas if I could whiff it if I squawk first, but I could also just take a knockout on the Gimmighoul. Problem with taking a knockout on the Gimmighoul, knockout on the Gimmighoul is actually probably fine, to be honest. Let's just do that. Okay, Collapse is great. Let's just hope this Palkia isn't able to respond immediately. I'm just kind of betting it won't. We do have another Sealstone, so losing this one's not the end of the world, but Judge is great in this matchup. Pokestop. Seems like his hand sucks. Let's see what he gets. Ultra Ball, Energy Retrieval. Well, at least he gets to play. Is he debating going for the Palkia V-Star? Avery and Cross Switch are gone. He has the V-Star, he attaches. He can use the V-Star for 1 energy. That's fine too. Subspace is not knock out though is the problem. The 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, and 150 for poison. Here's a metal energy, not a water. Gimmighoul. Irida, there's a supporter. Okay, water Pokemon. So probably gets Palkia V-Star and an item card. I don't know what the item would be. Maybe an energy retrieval? No, he already has one in hand. Or the vessel. Okay, yeah. Canceling clone. 80. Still not a knockout. He still needs more bench Pokemon. This is still not a knockout. My math is correct. It's 160. Yeah, 180, yeah. 10 off. Yeah, that's rough for him. We could switch card to a Klawf here if we want to. I'm gonna switch card just so we don't die of poison to start. I don't need to judge him, honestly. Like, we can just research his hand. It's fine. He has a 4-card hand. Boom. Do this. Do I want to get the town? I want to get a Town Store in play because I want to knock this. So I might just Seal Stone for it. He just seems so far behind. I just want to like keep it that way. Seal Stone number 2. Let's put it on the Jirachi. Just dump it. Okay, now this is very awkward for him. Good spot for us. He's playing Cross Switcher. We are aware of that. Heavy Ball. What's he get? Nothing. Nothing in the Heavy Ball. He's just gonna have to punch pass. It's not great for him. Concealed. Okay. We're getting 2 more. Golden Go. Alright, alright. We're cooking. The Goldingo is cooking. Coin bonus for 1. Problem is he can't attack with this. Like, he doesn't have an energy attached. He has a small hand. So he has to attack with the Palkia. Then he's respond again. Subspace, yep. I'm gonna send up the fresh one. I honestly, no, I should just send up Jirachi. Well, no, because no, we have to do this. This is fine. Bravery Charm would be sick here. Oh, right, it's priced, right? Pretty sure it's priced. Yeah. Oh no, it was on the Klawf that died. Right. So I forget. I've been going back and forth between 2 and 1 Bravery Charm, so I always forget if I'm playing 1 or 2. So that's why I was. I'm gonna pull some of the decks so we don't draw into it. I mean, yeah, nothing else to do here. Just punch. Go up. Game becomes kind of hard for him. Us too, because we can't just one-shot the Golden Go. But it is a lot harder for him to get knockouts with his than ours. Two metal. Okay, he definitely has a knockout here, it seems. We have one judge. We have one judge, 2 Iono in deck, which is going to be useful soon. Metal energy needs 4. Yep. Okay. Okay, Pokégear would be sick here as well. That's not it. just gonna do this. Now, do I want to boss up? I have to take one prizer anyways. I'm just wondering if I want to boss up this Gimme Ghoul here, or if I want to boss up the Greninja. I think I want to boss up the Ghoul. I also just punch this. We have 2 bosses in deck. If I punch this and research, no, you can just punch this because it doesn't require. Yeah, this is punch. It's just if I want to research his hand. I really don't. I just want to kind of pass or attack pass. Let's check our deck. Arven, Judge, 2 Iono, Escape Rope, 2 boss, right? Yeah, 2 boss. Kind of have everything we need to win in the deck. 1 VIP. Like, look at our deck. Look, if he Ionos us, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess. Like just cards that like don't immediately brick our hand. Let's do this. Also, if we boss up that, it does make our Iono, like us getting Iono, much worse. And this does require him to have 1 more metal energy, so. Yeah, it really. I mean, it just really sucks that we had all 3 of our disruption supporters. I could have saved the V-Star earlier to bump the not bump the Pokestop, but I feel like bumping the Pokestop was fine. It's like stopping him from drawing 2 anyways. I don't know. Pokestop. 1 PAL pad. He is down a cross switcher. I don't know if he's playing 4 or just the 2 or maybe 3. I actually just don't know. Irida. Yeah, I mean, man, I should have just researched his hand, honestly. I was a bit worried about researching because I don't want to, like, if we research and he just decides to go, like, boss Brute, we kind of lose the game. Because our final capsule's in hand. That was, like, the main reason. It was just really unfortunate we had both these in our hand. If we didn't do that, I would just immediately research, but you might not even, like, be aware of that play, though, you know? Like, if we research, we're guaranteed the Judge Iono next turn, which is, kind of like our out, anyways. What's he gonna put back? Avery Worker. I mean, Avery's fine. If he plays Avery, it's good for us because we can bump the Trode and then he loses, so. Super Rod, Golden Go. 4 energy. He discards 2, takes 1 prize. Oh, he's gonna go for a Shuriken. He's gonna go for a Moonlight Shuriken win next turn. Yeah. Wait, I can just boss it up though, right? Then I can't do that? Like, that's the play? You kind of telegraphed it? I'm gonna check my deck. Yeah, no disruption, but I think just bossing here is fine. Gonna do this and pray he's doesn't have cross switcher or something. Sucks if we can't bump the Pokestop though. That's like really unfortunate. I don't know. This is all we can do. And just pray. I don't know. Yeah, that's not it. So he sees his whole deck here. So if he does have if he's playing 4 cross switch, we just lose. But can't really do anything about that. All of our Judge Iono are bottom 17, so is what it is. And we had to discard one early. Yeah, he is playing. I'm assuming. Yeah. Unfortunate. Yeah. Oh well, I mean, that was just like, I don't know. He had a weak start, but like, again, all of our disruption support is bottom quarter of the deck, so it happens. Bad matchup. I think we played okay. If the turn we V-started, I guess we could have to bump the Pokestop. We could have saved for a Judge, but I'm not too upset about how that game went. That's all the matches I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Bye.